Trigonometry is one of the most important branches in mathematics that finds huge application in diverse fields. The branch called trigonometry basically deals with the study of the relationship between the sides and angle of the right angle triangle. Hence, it helps us to find the missing or unknown angles or side of a right triangle using the trigonometric formulas. Function or trigonometric identities in trigonometry, the angle can be either measured in degrees or radian. Some of the most commonly used trigonometric angle for calculation are 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90. Real life application. Bloodstain provide a lot of clues about what happened on the crime scene. Bloodstain pattern analysis is the interpretation of bloodstain at a crime scene to recreate the action that caused bloodstain. Elements of biology, physics, and mathematics are used to help determine the source of blood and the position of the victim and perpetrator. We will be looking at impact stain and passive stain. Impact stain result from blood projected through the air, where passive stain result from effect of gravity on a body. This can result in stabbing, beating, and gunshot injuries. When blood droplets strike a surface, the shape of the bloodstain depends on the angle of impact that the distance traveled.
Okay, imagine there is murder who shooted in innocent people and then there a lot of splattered blood around him. Looking down at the blood stain on the floor, the source of blood will be somewhere vertically above P. Now imagine drawing line through the blood stain in according mention which the direction of travel. This line will meet in a point P, the true source of the blood, e.g. the head of the person who was hit will have been somewhere vertically above P.
The angle of incidence. If blood were to drop vertically down into the smooth surface, so that the trajectory of blood make a 90 degrees angles with the surface, it will create a circular shape drop. If the blood were to drop obliquely to the floor at an angle less than about 70 degrees, it will form an elliptical shape with a tail. And this is the example of the shape of bloodstain for different angles of incidence. The investigator can measure the length A and width B for the bloodstain, and this is the example of how the investigator measure the length and width. They can then calculate the angle at which the blood drop hit the surface, which is called the angle of incidence. With the help of right angle triangles, using this diagram, we can now calculate the angle of incidence. Here's a blood droplet travel toward a surface with an angle of incidence equal to theta. The diameter of the droplet before impact is assumed to be equal to the width B of the droplet. This may not be exactly true in reality, but provide a good approximation. By moving this diameter as shown, we can form a right angle triangle. The width B is opposite the angle theta in this triangle, and the length A is the hypotenuse. We therefore have sin theta equal to B over A. Since we know A and B for measuring the bloodstain, we can work out theta as theta equal to sine negative power of 1 b over a. Now we go to the height of the source. We now ready to calculate the height of the source of the blood stain. We can form a right angle triangle whose sides align from one of the blood stain to the point P we identified earlier. The line that goes vertically up from P at the right angle to the flow, and the line starting to the blood stain and forming an angles theta with the flow. And this is how we calculate the height of the source. The height h of the vertical line is given by h over d equal to tan. Since we know the value of theta and the distance, see the first figure above. We can work out h, the height of the source. If you already know, for example, that the blood came from the victim being hit over the head. This information can indicate whether the person was standing up while this happens or was beaten while already lying on the floor.
In conclusion, as you have seen, trigonometry has a large and important role in blood stain analysis. Without it, we would not be able to find the height, angle of impact or area of convergence. Unfortunately, there are murders, and unfortunately for the murders trying to flee, there is trigonometry. Where there is blood stains, there is trigonometry, and the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.